Hey, folks, Matt Donald here. Once more, I'm here to advertise the Matthew Donald Patreon. We've got a couple new patrons. I'm glad people are actually listening to this thing. I appreciate the support. Our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Matthew Donald, we have bonus episodes for Paleobites, as well as the old episodes early and ad-free, because ads suck, but I need them to make money. So here's one, and you've already listened to another, I assume. Isn't capitalism great? Ryan Reynolds with his Mint Mobile. Our last episode, we talked about Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart because it had a dinosaur level. Last month, we talked once more about the obscure park builder game Dino Island, because I don't think we did it justice last time. That episode is still to come. Don't worry, it'll be arriving soon. And this month, we're going to talk about Nigel Marven's Sea Monsters, A Prehistoric Journey. Oh, it's going to be great. Such wonderful, wonderful stuff from our good old time-traveling paleontologist friend Nigel Marven. Good stuff. Link is in the description for you can sign up to the Patreon. Thank you for your support. Have a good day. Da, 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 da.
Roar, growl, snarl, bellow.
Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast with hosts like horseshoe crabs, old as hell and never changing.
Well,
I look. Wait, you're older than me, right?
maybe
When's your birth year?
91.
Mine is also 91. When's your birth month? Oh, it's March. That's what you said. You are older than me by a few months, because I'm July of 91. My birth month is this month. I'm going to be 33. I'm going to be Jesus age shortly. So,
All I got for my 30th birthday was an existential crisis. 33 was nothing much different.
Oh, well, see, I'm not really going to have a 33rd birthday, but I'm going to have a 33rd and a third birthday. Because that's 1 and third way to the 100, but 2, it's easy to calculate because a month is 12 months long. So it's on November 20th rather than July 20th. And so November 20th is my 33rd and a third birthday. So
yeah, why the hell not?
You're invited.
Okay.
So I don't know what I'm going to do then, but it's my 33rd and a third birthday. Third of the way to 100. The age I will definitely die at. And I will definitely make it to, though. Absolutely. Have you seen my health? Have you seen what I drink? Oh, man. Anyways, my name is Matthew Donald. Each week, I entertain a series of guest co-hosts, talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week, I am joined by Natasha Krech.
Hey.
Crises ahoy with our 30s age. We met, we were like in our early 20s. We were
at university.
Yeah, we were, yes. I think we were 20. I think I was in like a November of 2011, I believe, or something. I only remember that because I tend to remember dates when they tend to correspond with like social media.
Wow.
I think that's why I remember seeing like friended Natasha Krech in November 2011.
There's actually a small group of us that have known each other since the 3rd grade, and now we get together once every other month. And then someone you haven't met.
I think I've heard you guys mention her before.
Oh, we have definitely mentioned
So,
her.
like,
she is a fabulous artist. She has a table at Denver Fan Expo.
Oh, that's cool.
A lot of her work is not safe for work, but it is beautiful. I bought some of Pride stickers.
Oh, nice.
Which are safe for work.
Okay, I like that. And I've shown you them the Pride. I think you probably saw on my Instagram when I shared like Pride Month, Prideosaurus ones,
probably
where it's like Tyrannosaurus Rex, Biceratops, like there's
Probably saw it, but there's also a couple creators that I follow, one of which I've bought stuff off of, who does Pride dinosaur plushies.
I love that. I mean, look,
I bought her Pride millipede.
Nice. Of course, according to my fiance, gay people and dinosaurs, interest in dinosaurs, there's a startling correlation. Like, it's incredible how many gay people love dinosaurs, or people on the LGBTQ alphabet mafia, as it's called. And I think it's because dinosaurs, it's not taboo to like dinosaurs, but it is generally considered to be more of a kid's thing among the general public. Most adults are like, you got to grow out of liking dinosaurs. But since gay people, particularly ones out of the closet, are ones that don't give a crap about social protocols, they're like, I'm going to like dinosaurs.
What's social protocol?
I'm going to like dinosaurs. I don't care what society expects from me. Like,
you're talking to the person who regularly bucks them, has bright colored hair, multiple piercings.
Yes.
A single tattoo for now.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I've never had tattoos, because I know if I get one, I will want to get more.
I'm planning more.
That's always how it is. You get one, you're like, I just can't stop until my whole body is inked.
There is something getting inked.
My body is a canvas. It shall be painted.
I mean, I'm regularly covered in acrylic paint. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I would tattoo my brain for just because I don't know. Why would I do that? I feel my brain's already have a needle stuck in it at some point, and no one's found out about it, and needs to be pulled out at any moment. Maybe from like.
Anyway, what are we talking about?
Well,
today?
I was gonna do a great segue where I was like, maybe it was a tooth of a big crocodilian lodged in there, like a rail spike in my head. Where people like get an injury and they wake up from their coma and suddenly are fluent in Portuguese. Those.
Oh, I've heard those stories.
Yeah, fun stuff. Anyways, we're talking about Quinkana, or spirit of Gugu-Yalanji folklore, which is a tribe of Aborigines in Australia. Type it is a mekosuchine crocodilian, a group of extinct Australasian crocodiles.
Of course it's Australian.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Size 10 to 13 feet / 3 to 3.8 meters long, 440 to 200 kilograms. Some Pliocene estimates indicate there might have been some individuals that reached up to 16 to 20 feet, just 5 to 6 meters long. Put these in freaking Pleistocene territory. And so...
We sure this wasn't a subspecies?
Right. Well, Pleistocene is from the Triassic, I'm assuming not. but the thing the reason why I bring up Pleistocene rather than it's because saltwater crocodiles can get up to 20 feet long. But there's a big difference between this and the normal crocodile. It's not aquatic, it's terrestrial, and it runs like a gazelle.
Oh, jeez.
It's got one of those crocodiles with its legs underneath it, like rather than splayed out. And usually when you hear those crocodilians, you think of Cretaceous, or Triassic, like the Notosuchians or Caprosuchus, or all those ones, like old timey stuff. By the way, diet as a carnivore. But in terms of when this one was, it was 25 million to 10,000 years ago. Holy crap! What a range! I mean, it's no Hybotus, but hardly anything is. But can I reiterate, there may have been a Pleistocene-sized terrestrial crocodilomorph freaking 10,000 years ago.
And of course, it's in Australia.
To the point that these early Australians encountered it. And didn't leave. They were like, we're sticking around here. What the hell?
The snakes, the spiders, why not a giant running crocodile? Oh, and the platypuses.
And the platypuses, which don't seem dangerous and they're not dangerous, but boy, when the males sting you, they hurt like hell.
They can make you wish for death.
That's the thing. It's actually a non-lethal poison, but it attacks the pain neurons to the point you're begging for death. So,
and we can't forget the gimpy.
The gimpy, or the exploding trees. Location Australia, with the majority of fossils found in Queensland. That's Sydney area, I think. Described 1981. Pop culture appearances. I've read a source that claims it was featured in the TV documentary Monsters Resurrected. Then, of course, other sources saying it was Megalania instead. Maybe they were both there, or maybe neither of them. I could know for sure if I actually watched this documentary, but who has the time?
What is time?
What is time? Like I said, we're 30 years old. We got no time. We work, we sleep, we eat, we poop, we fart, and then but that's it. That's life. Who has time for fun and games?
I try.
I do try to. You gotta try. Otherwise, live in that horrific dystopian Jetsons universe. Our day is just pushing a button.
All right.
And then we just go home. Oh, man. The teeth of Quinkana, of this running crocodile from Australia, from 10,000 years ago, are what's known as zyphodont, meaning they're recurved, serrated, and blade-like in shape.
Oh, very nice. Sounds
horrifying. It's debated whether it was fully terrestrial or semi-aquatic. The main argument for the latter being Australia already has many terrestrial predators filling this niche, like Thylacoleo and Veronis megalania. But again, Australia is Australia and it plays by its own rules.
It really does.
So...
And someday I would like to visit it.
I would never. I have learned about huntsman spiders, and I'm like a big fat no for me.
At least the huntsmen aren't trying to kill you. They're
trying
to kill
care that they're not
trying to kill you.
I don't care they're not trying to kill me. They look terrifying. People are like, oh, those spiders. And I know you've said this too, and that's fine, but this is my counter. Where people are like, oh, but don't leave those spiders in. They're good. They eat the little bugs. And I'm like, you're just saying replace the little bugs with big bugs. I want no bugs.
The evolutionary arms race at its finest in Australia.
It's like, oh, the huntsmans, they eat all the bad bugs. I'm like, huntsmans are bad bugs to me. I get that they're not dangerous, but they look freaky. My dad is constant like, oh, they're not going to hurt you. I'm like, I know they're not going to hurt me. That's not the problem. The problem is I have what's called hyperarachnophobia. I don't know if I may have mentioned the show before.
You may have.
Hyperarachnophobia is different from normal arachnophobia, where I'm triggered. I'm triggered by seeing a picture of it or a video rather than just a real life thing. All it takes is just a picture. I'm like, flight or fight, which I often do a little unknown third one, which is fright, where I just sit still and be like, don't go anywhere, but just freeze. Some people call it freeze, but I call it fright because then it's flight, fright, or fright.
Meanwhile, I've been known to free handle a lot of creatures.
You used to be afraid of spiders too, you said, though, but then you worked at the Butterfly Pavilion. And
yes, I'll freely spotlight the Butterfly Pavilion here because they were what got me over my arachnophobia. Arguably through exposure therapy and knowledge.
Exposure therapy can work, really. I mean, not for everyone, but but
also learning about the creatures when they were safely behind glass and listening to a professional.
As opposed to that sounds better than the Fear Factor way.
Oh, Fear Factor was terrible.
It's Joe Rogan, so of course it was. So
that probably did the opposite.
Like, yeah, I'll conquer my fear of tarantulas being dumped into a tub full of them.
Yeah.
That'll work.
And let's just say New World tarantulas have a nasty little defense mechanism that is arguably worse than their venom.
Oh, man. Is it them shooting their hairs off?
Yeah, those are Mother Nature's fiberglass.
Oh, God. So
then
they're bird-eating spiders, which since birds are dinosaurs, that means there are dinosaur-eating spiders.
So this is another tangent for another time.
I mean, we're talking about spiders in the freaking Quinkana episode, so no worries. Go on.
Bird-eating tarantula is actually a bit of a misnomer. They actually don't prefer to go after birds.
But they can eat birds.
Can and will are two different things. They can and will if there is a chance to take advantage of a bird.
I feel like they wouldn't go after like just a big flying bird, or like they probably go after a chicks in the necks. Yeah, in the nest.
They go after a nestling, certainly.
Yeah.
But a bird that can fly can knock that tarantula off a branch, and tarantulas are surprisingly delicate animals.
Oh, really? So if you knock it off a branch, they just shatter on the ground?
Or like explode into a bag of guts.
Oh, God.
Their backsides are very, very tender.
Oh, man. And
even
spiders,
the ones in Australia.
And spiders, the reason they curl up when they die is because they breathe through their legs.
And their circulatory system is basically Mother Nature's hydraulic system.
Right, exactly.
Which is really cool from an engineering standpoint.
So when their circulatory system stops, their legs curl up. Yeah. And that's why when they die, their legs
hydraulic fluid stops.
Oh, man.
Going through, pushing pressure. I'll let the engineers talk about hydraulics because it really is cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one word for it.
Well, we'll talk about it in the mechanical sense.
I know. I'm talking about in the spiders. In the mechanical sense, it is cool,
but
yes.
The bioorganic sense, yes. It's cool as well.
There was actually this really cool book I read when I was younger. I forget what it was called, but it talked about the human body and the animal body in a way that was palatable and not gross for kids, where it would illustrate it like a factory. With machine parts, and it made the esophagus in like a conveyor belt, or put everything as like a.
If you ever remember the title of that book, please let me know.
It was from the 90s. It was or 80s. It was a really. It showed like human digestive other sort of stuff, but also cow stomachs. It showed the 4 stomachs, but then again, they were all like factory stuff. Like they were like.
But it's a good starting place. For
it is because like the human body is disgusting. Like anatomy is my least favorite science subject because I am disgusted by it. I find it fascinating, but I don't like the fluids and tissues and.
From an artistic standpoint, I like knowing how bones and muscles work.
Oh yeah, I can get that for sure.
Anatomy diagrams.
Oh yeah, well that's one thing. Yeah. Well, and plus, I obviously don't mind skeletons. I like
skeletons are pretty darn cool.
Yeah, even human skeletons I think are cool. But no, I'm talking more like the wet stuff.
Yeah.
Which to be fair, skeletons are wet technically because they're in fluids. Anyways, not Megalania, Quinkana. I haven't done a Megalania episode, but to be fair, it's because Megalania isn't actually its own genus anymore. That's actually more of a nickname for it. Varanus is this genus now, which is still the same genus of the modern Komodo dragon.
Okay. That would make sense.
So, and I don't even know if its species name is Megalania. It's not like Varanus Megalania. It's Varanus something else. And Megalania is just like a nickname for it. Kind of like how the mastodon is actually named Mammut. So this though, Quinkana has a long history of discovery in human knowledge. This is one of the first crocodilian fossils to be recognized in Australia, albeit under many different names. Some of the earliest fossils attributed to this genus were found all the way back in 1886. They have informal names describing upon them, but it wasn't until further fossils were found in 1975 that caught the attention of paleontologist Ralph Molnar, who, after intensive study in various caverns and caves in Queensland, described the fish species officially in 1981. The name comes from the Queensland Aboriginal Gugu-Yalanji folklore called the Quinkana. Molnar explained the reason he chose this name was because the Quinkans were represented by crocodiles in some Queensland cave paintings.
Cool.
So Quinkana it is. Quincan or Quink sounds like a slur to me, but Quinkana is a freaking scary crocodile that hunted Aborigines, although it probably didn't hunt them specifically. It seems that humans were likely not responsible for their extinction, which is good. We got that one cleared off. It's like now we just have all the other atrocities we have to deal with. But that one we're in the clear on. So apparently it's hypothesized that the Ice Age, it didn't make it cold. It was Australia. It was too much, but it did make it arid. The lack of rainfall due to all the water being trapped in the ice and the poles meant that there was intense aridification, gradually dried up the river basins and destroyed the forest the crocodilian inhabited.
Oof.
So that's the leading theory why it went extinct, along with much of Australia's megafauna, like a diprotodon and other ones I can't think of right now. That big carnivorous kangaroo. You know, there's a carnivorous kangaroo.
Okay, Australia.
Procoptodon or something out.
Okay, Australia.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Lay off the drugs.
Australia just does what it wants. There's worlds that are really dangerous. There are worlds that are really, really dangerous. And then there is Australia. All right, let's rate Quinkana 1 out of 65 million. I'm going to rate it 55 million because it is. There was this Post-Tsuka sized land crocodile. Well, it could have been
humans
that early humans dealt with. It's freaking terrifying. Like Post-Tsuka, I bring up Post-Tsuka because it's like, oh, it's kind of what it looks like. But that was 200 million years ago. Early dinosaurs didn't deal with. That's something we had to deal with. We had to deal with this though.
Yeah, no, that thing would have been terrifying.
Oh man, crocodiles are freaking scary, and they're such a varied group too. Have you seen some of these early crocodiles, like the poposaurids, which are in these crocodiles from the Triassic? And boy, do they look like dinosaurs! It's insane. They're like bipedal. They look like carnivorous dinosaurs. There are some that you might think that's a dinosaur. It's not.
To this day, there are a lot of people who honestly think crocodiles and alligators, caimans, the lot of them, are dinosaurs.
I mean, look, they're close. They're archosaurs. So archosaurs are the group of reptiles that includes dinosaurs and pterosaurs and crocodiles.
Well, and most people aren't evolutionary biologists or paleontologists.
Crocodiles are closer to dinosaurs than lizards are, which means that crocodiles are closer to birds than lizards, which is weird to think about.
Yeah.
I know, Lyra, you're closer to a crocodile than a crocodile's closer to you than it is to a lizard. You're closer to other birds than you are to a crocodile. But yeah, so okay, 55 million for me. What about you?
I'll stick with a solid 55 million. It was a cool creature.
It was a cool creature. Tore apart prey with its serrated Xiphodont jaws.
A running crocodile.
Yeah. To be fair, like most crocodiles, I imagine it would only run in bursts. But
well, we'd have to look at diagrams of its skeleton and musculature. But if it was partially terrestrial, I imagine it could go a bit longer than. Yeah,
it's true. Because like, if you've seen like a crocodile like burst and it's cool. It's cool. Like they go really fast and they stop for like a while.
Yeah,
and then they just.
That's I think a hunting tactic of all modern crocodilians.
Mm-hmm.
Hear about that out of the Florida alligators.
One of my favorite TikToks I saw was this one guy who it's like his head was one of his greatest purchases. It's a little remote controlled boat, but looks exactly like a realistic head of an alligator. It's just the head. It's not the whole. It's not the whole. You don't need the whole creature. You just need the head. So it's head peeking out from the water, and it makes everyone freak out.
That is hilarious, and that is a brilliant prankster.
Especially good in murky water when you. So, because if it's in clear water, you can see it's just a head. But if it's murky water, you're like,
or if it's dark,
yeah.
I can think of that being hilarious in a pool after dark.
For sure. And in Florida, they can be in pools. Often alligators. I love alligators. They're so funny. Alligators and crocodiles, I think, are one of the funniest creatures. And that no one else thinks are funny. It's because of their crocodile smiles. They look smug.
They do.
They look so smug. And so when people are afraid of them, it's like they're always like doing the Jabba the Hutt laugh, like, I'm so scary. I don't have to do anything. I just have to be here and everyone leaves.
I mean, you're not wrong. People steer clear of an alligator.
And I've told this story before on the show many times. I'm sure people are sick of it. Maybe I haven't. I don't know. Nope, I'm sure I have. So one of the funniest alligators I heard is when the space shuttle would go off. Almost every time, a bunch of alligators would start, male alligators would start swimming towards Cape Canaveral because from far away, the rumbling of the spaceship engine sounds almost exactly like a female alligator in heat. And so all the male alligators are swimming towards it, ready to get some. And then they all leave disappointed, like, oh, it was just a space shuttle. I just. Like, they're so funny. I love them. I don't know. I mean, look, I know they're terrifying, but they're so funny. That's a weird opinion I have. That alligators and crocodiles are funny, but
to each their own, right?
Man. Anyways, especially Gustav. He's not. I mean, look, the fact he's killed 300 people is not funny. But what's a little bit funny is the fact that you eat that much. That's not. He's not doing it for food. He's doing it because he loves to kill. He loves the taste of man flesh.
Yeah, fair
and
enough.
I'm sorry, but I find that a little funny. I find that a little morbidly funny.
Welcome to the world of dark humor.
I know.
Laughing in the face of things that are not conventionally funny.
Gustav apparently died in 2019. Apparently he was shot, although there's no confirmed body, but that someone claimed that, and he has not been seen since. So he's burning in hell, or more probably accurately thriving in hell right now. So. All right, so 55 million. All right, well, Quinkana, good, scary, blah. That's it for this week. If you want to get a little show, you can contact me at palebytespodcast@gmail.com. For any questions to me or any of the co-hosts, I can relay them. Follow me on social media at palebytespod on Twitter and palebytespodcast on Instagram and TikTok. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at NK Arts and Crafts and on this newer platform called Kara.
Yes.
Under the name Blues Arts and Crafts.
Absolutely. I have a book series on Amazon Megazoic available for print and Kindle. No Quinkana, because that would be from far beyond when it took place. But I could have, maybe. Actually, no, I couldn't have. I could do like there are some really interesting terrestrial crocodiles in dinosaur times, like the Allodoposuchians and the Notosuchians. Caprosuchus was like 20 feet long or 15 feet long and was like a terrestrial crocodile that lived in the Cretaceous. So that sounds pretty scary.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, all right, well, that's it for this week. It's the end of the episode of Paleo Bites. Oh. Oh, that's Australia. Like, oh. How would it's Australian? Good day. I'll bleep that or not. No, I didn't finish it. I was saying country.
Yeah, you were.
I just got stopped in the middle of the word. But I was clearly trying to say country. Australians say that word all the time. It's a term of endearment. Anyways, bye.